Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Sarah, this is Toby, and we've been building out our 2021 RAM Promaster for quite some time. And today, I'm gonna show you how I get my sink and plumbing all set up, and then I also show you how I get the switch that's connected to my sink pump connected, as well as my dimmer switch. Sorry, there's a plane and my camera's dying, so I'm gonna finish this up. Stick around and I'll show you exactly how I do every single one of those things. Yikes.
We need more than hopes and wishes for us to make it through the night. Stormy weather, weary eyes, hope to make it.
Much better. I want to give you a little tour of what I have going on behind me. Right here, this is my entire kitchen setup. Here I'm going to have 3 drawers and then 1 pull-out. This middle part, it's gonna be my sink area, my fridge, per usual. I'm trying to debate if I want to put a door there or not. I kind of like the idea of me being able to just kick my shoes in there, so I think I might just leave it open. Over here on this side, haven't finished the framing of it yet, but this is gonna be a bedside table, and then underneath it, I'll have like the world's smallest closet in there, and then at the bottom will be like a laundry chute. So that's what this little situation is gonna be about. What are these overhead cabinets? I did it a while ago, but someone helped me redo it, so it was a little bit more structurally sound and had a little bit more of a prettier face. I have 2 lights. Oh, it's not connected. If you want to know how I installed them, make sure you check out my ceiling and plug lights video, because I show you exactly how I got all of these done. Yeah, just so I can prove that I got these switched correctly. Pew, pew, pew. Here's Here's my sink of choice. I got it on Amazon. I actually highly recommend it. It's perfect for the RV life. It's super deep. It came with this board, so you don't have to worry about cutting a piece of board to fit your sink if you want to have it as a cover. Came with this thing, and I don't know where I put mine, but the piece that goes right there, you know what I'm talking about. If you've ever used a sink before, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, something random I want to also include. I finished my ceiling and I covered those ugly screws with this. So yeah, my ceiling is done except for the framing of my fan, which I still need to figure out how to cut that dang thing. The one last thing, look at my butcher block. Isn't it gorgeous? And it has a live edge, meaning it just like kind of is wavy on the end. It's beautiful. When I knew I was gonna do gutted, I kind of expedited a lot of things just to get by, so I have something livable for when I get there. And in the process, I made myself a counter made out of scrap plywood. Let me show you what it looked like. But don't look at it for too long, because it'll probably curse you. Let's talk about the sink a little bit. This is a stainless steel sink, and it came with this horrible installation instructions, and this is also supposed to be the template to cut the hole for the sink. Let me tell you right now, it is not big enough. It is big enough for just the base of the sink, but the thing is they have these little hooks, and it doesn't account for that. So that's why on my counter of shame, there's those random holes in it, because that's where I put those brackets in. It's not completely installed. I can still like remove it and stuff. So for me to completely seal the deal, I'm like looking around because I can't find the thing I want to use. Okay, got it. So for me to completely seal the deal, I'm using this stuff, the clear, specifically clear, and I'm gonna put it underneath the lip and just have it sit. So let's do that right now. And while you watch me do this, just please admire my butcher block. It's stunning. She is stunning.
I'm done looking over my shoulder. It's past time, won't help me getting over it. I don't know what I'm bringing in closer. Yeah, I'm looking ahead, looking out.
We're gonna get our faucet in. Now with this, it came with a bunch of stuff, including 2 of these, one for cold water and one for hot water. I'm not gonna have that kind of sophisticated system, so I only need 1 of them, but let's put this together. There are 2 holes in there. Take this end and twist it in one of the holes. Oh, and before I do that though, I'm gonna add some of this tape. Is this tape? It's not very sticky if it is. Okay, so I was told that the way to do it is to circle around the way of the threads. Which way is it? Are the threads going? Look at this way. I also need better scissors, you guys. Oh wow, this is really cool. Wow, this is, sorry, I'm just so fascinated. It sticks on so well. I thought it wasn't gonna stick because it just felt like ribbon. I was at Ace Hardware when I picked this stuff up. This guy that helped me gather some of my supplies sprinted to me while I was waiting in line to make sure I had that tape. So that was really nice of him. Thank you, dude. She's in. She's in. I'm gonna take a pause from that right now. I wanna show you how I installed my SeaFlo water pump before everything ends up getting hidden. There she is in all of her glory. This is the one I picked out. I use my Craig jig screws to attach them to the walls like this, but honestly I didn't feel like enough because I know that when I use this is gonna shake a lot. So I ended up using this strap. It's like a furniture strap, and I also screwed it in as well, so it had a little bit of extra something. This kit came with this filter. What this filter does is collect any chunks that may or may not be floating through here so it doesn't damage the pump itself. It also came with these spouts. I'll show you a picture of it. There was two of them, one for this side and one for that side. I used it for this side because it was great for this pipe, but I'm not using it for this side because this ain't about to fit in it. So I had to find a different solution, which we'll talk about. I picked this up at Ace Hardware, and then I picked up this tightener. All I have to do is screw it on, and it's snug as a bug. And then this piece is, the end piece is gonna go inside my gray water tank. Now let's talk about this fella over here. That fella and this lady, they don't fit. They're not a match, they're not compatible. So I needed to get a connector for it. I'm gonna tell you something. It was a wild pain in the booty trying to find it. I spent 2 hours. That's not an exaggeration. I thought I was exaggerating for a moment, but I did spend 2 hours at Ace Hardware looking for a connector to fit this side and that side. This is what I got. Turns out it's not the right size. It looked like it, but it isn't. This side fit my pump, but this side did not fit my girl over here. If you have this from this particular sink and into this particular pump, I will tell you right now what connector you need. This one. On the male side, it is 3/8. The male side on the pump fits a 1/2 inch female. So you need a 1/2 inch female on one side and a 3/8 inch male on the other side if you want to fit this particular hose to that particular pump. I ended up finding it at Home Depot. Let's get this tape around the male connector in here. Let's see if I can bring you along with me, but I just don't think that's the case.
I'm done looking over my shoulder.
Look at how it just like melts into itself. That's super cool. So what I'm gonna do is put the sink in from the top, sink this into the hole, and then have this guy come feed into it. Also, this is gonna be really hard. The next thing I wanna do is connect this hose to the pump. All right, she's in. It's perfect. It fits perfectly. Isn't that cool? I had to cut this hole. It wasn't easy, but I did. And this is what it normally looks like. When I took that tap off, you saw that I was able to put that hose in there, so that's cool. I had to get rid of the red circle to get this to fit. Just getting rid of the red wasn't quite enough, so I used a metal filer to just do the rest. And if you want to do the same thing as me, the method I used was using a pilot, just creating a bunch of pilot holes. Okay, so before I test this, let me show you how I wired it. When I was watching YouTube videos on how to do this, no one really shared how to do this. No one made any sense of it or the wiring. So if you were to wire this directly into your battery, it's just gonna be permanently on, and that's annoying because it makes a really loud noise. Like everything else, it's a DC system, so it came with a black and a red wire. So from that black and red wire, I connected it with male and female connectors into the pre-wire that I did earlier this year. Now that pre-wire found its way to this switch here that I installed with Grace. I didn't. It was a disaster getting that in there. Now from there, I have another pre-wire that feeds from this switch to my battery system into the distribution panel. If you want to know how I connect things in there, I also have another video. Oh, the same video with my ceiling and puck lights. That also shows how I put everything in there. If you buy this off Amazon, it comes with a kit of like 6 or 8 of them. It comes with quite a bit of them. And then it also comes with a bunch of black wires and a bunch of red wires like this. I ended up using a bunch of them because I kept messing up and I blew my circuit a couple times. So let me show you what to do and what not to do on how to wire a on and off switch. One thing that we just need to understand, the purpose of this, like from a very technical perspective. When it's on, it gives power. It allows power to flow through. When it's off, it cuts the power off, right? And to do that, you need to create a bridge between one of the wires. So in this case, we would put the switch in between these two red wires. When the switch is on, they're together, we get power. When it's off, they're apart and there's no power. So what really threw me off is that the kit came with the black and a red wire. So I thought, okay, this is intuitive enough. One side is black, one side is red, right? Wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Scratch that off your noggin. This is a bridge for one wire only. And from my understanding, and don't quote me on this, I believe maybe the reason why they had both wires is because you can choose if you want the connection to be the black wire or the red wire. I'm picking the red wire because it makes the most sense to me. So on this, the two prongs, I put red wire here and a red wire there. It doesn't matter which side is which because again, it's a bridge. When it's off, the bridge is open. When it's on, the bridge is closed. So it doesn't matter which side you put it on. The top one runs to my pump and the bottom one runs to my battery. So what about the black wires? What do you do with those? You complete the circuit by connecting them together. So the black wire on my pump has a male connector that is then connected to the wire that goes to my battery with the female connector. So we created one big old circle. It's one big wire, basically, is what we just created, just with that guy. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Please let me know if it makes sense. By the way, we'll get to this after I'm done with the pump stuff, but I'm going to show you how I connected this. It's different. It's a different story. Don't take what I taught you with the dimmer switch. And just so you know, this is gonna be different for most switches. I say most because I don't know if it's all. I tried following the same methods as someone else who also had an on and off switch and also had a dimmer switch, and his methods were different than mine. I did his exactly, but it busted my fuse. If you're gonna follow someone, get the exact material as them. Otherwise, try your hardest to understand the instructions that is provided for you, which are always so bad. With that said, now that it's all switched, this is our first time turning this on to see if it works. I'm actually really nervous. Okay, that's on. Crap. I don't think it's picking up the water because it's not submerging very well. There we go. Yes. That's amazing. We're leaking. Oh, I forgot to seal the deal down here too. So the reason why it wasn't working, my hose wasn't reaching the water, so that's good to know. I need to cut my hose basically. So I think what's happening is that it's pretty long, so when I stuff it in here, it curls up and then just is not in the water. I'm going to put this plumber's putty on that, what do you call that? The strainer part, the part on the bottom of the sink. I don't know what it's called. Strainer. Is it a strainer? Is that what I'm trying to, but it's not the strainer part. This is the strainer part that goes in the middle. What's the, whatever you guys. If you've ever been in a bathroom or a kitchen, ever used a sink before, you know exactly what I'm talking about, I hope. It's fun. Oh. The reason why also it was super leaky, it wasn't because I didn't have this, I didn't tighten it. I was too focused on making sure my whole system worked. I didn't even pay attention to anything else. But I'm happy it works, isn't that cool? Is this entertaining enough for you? I don't think so. All right, so the last thing I want to show you is how I got my dimmer switches to work, okay? Let's go over here. Let's go over here. I'm sorry, I really wish I showed you while I did it, but I didn't, and there's no going back now. All right, so here's my dimmer switch. This one goes to my ceiling lights. From behind, you'll see that it came with a red wire, a white wire, and a black wire, okay? We're together? We're together. I had wires connecting to my puck lights. We went through that ceiling video, watch that. And then I have a pre-wire that goes straight to my battery. Now with this wire, with this particular dimmer switch, the red and the white wire are both red wires. Just think of it as that. They're both red wires, and the black wire is a black wire. The white wire goes to your appliance. So in this case, my puck lights, which I feel like is the only reason why you would use a dimmer switch. And the red wire goes to my battery, and they're connected using male and female connectors. So we got 3 black wires now. We got a black wire on the switch, switch, we have a black wire in the plug lights, and we have a black wire from the battery. We just got to put them all together, create one big old loop. And to do that, I use these Wago 3-way connectors, and then it's as simple as that. I'm saying it's as simple as that because it is. And if this is your first time watching a video about electrical stuff, I highly recommend watching my other electrical videos because I kind of go into detail of this type of stuff. All right, so that's that. That's all I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about how I got my sink set up, got the switch connected to the whole system, and how I got my dimmer switch working for my plug lights, both on my ceiling and for my overhead cabinets. So the next video or two is probably going to be a little bit more van lifey than van buildy because I'm going to be on my way to Gutted. I'm so excited for that. I'm excited to meet all my teammates. I'm excited to compete. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Gutted is a TV show. It's a van building competition made up of 3 different teams: Uli, an RV, which is the team I'm on, and a van. And we just compete to build out a rig in 5 days. So I will be competing with 7 other people. You might know them. Make sure you check out the Gutted Instagram page to see who they are. Otherwise, tune in when it comes out, which will be in, I have no idea when it's going to come out. See you later. Bye.